viewers, this is Josh24214 once again, and today we're going to be taking a look at the official spoilers for the new set for Magic the Gathering for M21. And so far only 8 have been revealed so far out of a unknown amount of cards, or out of 274. So yeah. So only 8 cards. We got like at least 4 new cards and no, 5 new cards and 3 reprints of 3 cards. So let's take a look at all 8, and if I do miss one that was on today's spoilers, they'll be officially moved to hopefully tomorrow's, and if this goes well, we can do more than the next set, and then the next set, etc., etc. So, anyway, for starters, we're going to start with our first card in the new set. It's a new card, and it's called Double Vision. And Double Vision is a new card for M21, and it's an enchantment. It costs 3 generic mana and 2 red for an enchantment, and it does the following. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose a new target for the new targets for the copy. So you can do this pretty much every turn when you play it the first turn at the beginning of each turn, and it's basically just like an enchantment version of a planeswalker that came out like during War of the Spark or in the Ravnica block that lets you for I can't remember exactly, but I'll probably put a note down here saying what the card does. And it's pretty much the same thing, but for the rest of the turn you can copy any instant or sorcery spell, and you still would make a ton of damage. So I could see this card being in that type of deck with the Izzet deck. In Brawl, I can see that happening. So yeah, that could be crazy if you set up the pieces just right, and then you can take advantage of special abilities that'll let you help you with copying spells and getting some good value in damage to do that. So yeah, I could see that happening. And our okay, so with that out of the way, so we're moving on to our next card, and it's called, and we got a legendary creature this time for white, and the card is called, and it's called Mangara the Diplomat. He's a three generic mana, 1 white legendary creature, human clerk, lifelink. And his special ability is whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you or your planeswalkers you control, you get to draw a card. And whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you get to draw a card. So yeah, this guy can be very useful, and he is only a attack of power of 2 and 4 toughness. So yeah, I can see Mangara being a good way of drawing cards for that value, and tells the opponent, no, you can't attack me with 2 or more creatures, or I get some good draw value here. And then using their second spell each turn, so they'd probably be stuck with one spell per turn, and they would have to be super careful about that. But it's a 2/4. It could be easily gotten rid of if you have the right white right enchant instant or sorcery that will make sure it'll go to the graveyard. So I could see this guy being played for the draw value only. And if you know how to keep him safe, then yeah, I can totally see players taking advantage of that. And yeah, with that, and it does have some lifelink, so it can get you some health back when you attack. So yeah, and he'd be a very good blocker for on the fourth turn, but I hardly doubt it. Okay, now we're moving on to our third card, and this new card is a this new card is a Planeswalker, and we got Basri Ket. Basri Ket for 1 generic and 2 white mana. Legendary Planeswalker Basri. And this is the new Planeswalker. I probably think this is the new Planeswalker that Mark Rosewater was talking about. That we were getting a new Planeswalker. And this is probably this one. So Basri starts out with 3 loyalty, and his plus 1 ability is put a 1/1 counter on top on put a 1/1 counter on top to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Okay, so you can get a creature to be indestructible for a single turn. That's good. That's good to know. So his -2 ability is whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attacks this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So if you okay, I could see this ability be used a little more for that. Like if you have like an empty board and you still have creatures on your side, you could get a lot of 1/1s, and that you could use the white soldiers as a fodder and do it whenever you need to. And his ultimate is -6, is you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So this is yeah, I could see this ultimate being really good, and a good reason to make sure Basri never ultimates, because you would have to deal with a white 1/1 at the beginning of combat, so you'll always get some value and automatically get a +1/1 on all your creatures on your side of the board. So I could see this card being used for uh, for value like Aristocrats deck. I can see Basri being an Aristocrats deck with the 1/1 white soldier tokens, and you can get them sacrificed for value. An Aristocrats deck, but that's probably my opinion. So yeah, I can see Basri be a very good Planeswalker. Also joining Basri, we get a new card, and it's called Basri's Acolyte. And he is a 2 generic and 2 white creature, and the creature cat clerk with lifelink, and the ability is when Basri's Acolyte enter the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each up to 2 other target creatures you control. So yeah, so when Basri Acolyte would come out, he could just easily upgrade 2 of your creatures that you have, probably those 1/1s that you have. I could, yeah, that's an okay card. And you got lifelink. I can see Basri's Acolyte be added into standard decks using like other ways of buffing up your creatures. And although he is a power of 2 and 3 toughness, I could see him be pretty good with the lifelink, but for 4 mana, I don't know. It just depends on the person, I suppose. And okay, and our fifth and final new card, as far as I know, is being added to the set. We have Demonic Embrace. And Demonic Embrace is an enchantment, and it costs 1 generic and 2 black. Enchantment Aura. Enchant Creature. And the ability is Enchant Creature gets a 3/1, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other types. You may cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to playing its other costs. Okay, so it's basically got a bit of the escape mechanic. Like, it's a very good buff spell to mostly to increase your whatever card by 3, and it's a demon. And you can play this over and over as long as you can pay for life and discarding a card each time this thing goes to the graveyard. So I could see some good value in that, and the demon, but including the whole demon thing with the rest, I could see it being very useful in demon decks. Okay, the next card is from and we got our first returning card for M21, and we got ourselves a Baneslayer's Angel for 3 generic and 2 white. Creature Angel, and its ability has flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and dragons. And yeah, and its power and toughness is 5. So I can see Baneslayer being very good against demons and dragon decks. And this card, from what I recall this morning, she came from if I recall correctly, she came from M11, like 2011. So yeah, almost like 10 years ago. Kind of a good time for having a returning card from 10 years ago. So yeah, and and she's very good probably when you get 5 mana, and she's a very good attacker and blocker. So yeah, there are ways of getting rid of Baneslayer as long as it's not dragon or demons. Okay, the next card, our next returning card is called. We get another returning classic from another set from. Okay, our next card was another is another. Our next card is a returning card from another set, Massacre Wurm. So 3 generic and 3 black mana. Creature Wurm. This ability, when Massacre Wurm enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get a -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. Power of 6 and toughness of 5. And the history for Massacre Wurm, he was in Meridian Invasion, if I recall. It is a reprint from Meridian Invasion, I think. I could be wrong. I know it's Meridian, but I can't remember the last part. And yeah, it's a big dude with a power of 6. And if they have like, this would be very useful at getting rid of like ones and twos token creatures unless they got buffed by an artifact or whatever. So yeah, another returning favorite, as far as I know. And now our eighth and final card comes from all the way, and we got our second Planeswalker, and it's another reprint of a card called Ugin the Spirit Dragon. For 8 generic mana, Planeswalker Ugin +2, Ugin the Spirit Dragon deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Second ability is super useful, having -X, and its ability is exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less that's 1 or more colors. So yeah, basically a huge board wipe if you can play it out for 8 generic. And its ultimate for Ugin the Spirit Dragon, is -10, and its ability is you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand into the battlefield. And Ugin the Spirit Dragon starts out with 7. And Ugin the Spirit Dragon was reprinted for so Ugin the Spirit Dragon came from another set from Fates Fates Reborn, and yeah, we're getting a new reprint of that card, so I can expect the price to go down a little bit, so probably adding new cards in from old sets. And I do know one thing, that we might get a Chandri Planeswalker card, but I don't know if it's in the set or not. But we'll have to wait for the next couple of days to find out. So that's pretty much it for your first 8 cards from Core Magic, from Core 20. So that's the 8 cards from Core 2021 so far. So I can't wait for what the rest of the cards are. And hopefully, if this goes well, we can make more spoilers and look adding cards from the core set of 2021. So until then, this is Josh24214, and I will see you probably maybe the next day or so after. If you want to see more, just let me know. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you on the next episode. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and bye for now.